Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Sheila with Stamping Wishes, and today we're going to be using this stamp set, Illuminated Christmas. And what we're going to make out of this card, out of the stamp set, I'm sorry, is this card. And this was actually designed from our upline gives us a sketch each week, Don Griffith, and I took that sketch, and this was my rendition of it. And so let's go ahead and get started. But before we start on the card, I do want to give a shout out to my sister, Deanna, who was so thoughtful and loving in ordering me from Stamping Smiles a set of the stamping sleeves. And if you've ever followed her, you can see that they come in really handy, and really a very nice gift that my sister gave me. So thank you, Deanna. I love you. And so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so today in making this card, we're going to need the thick Whisper White for our card base, which is 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. So let's go ahead and fold it and burnish it and get it ready for the others. And hopefully this is my second take on the filming of this, because I went all the way through making this card and started editing the film and found that I was way down here where you couldn't see me. And this is I just recently redesigned our studio, and my studio I should say, and with my husband's help. And so in doing that, my areas that he set up for my filming, I haven't, lined out where I need to be for the camera to catch me just right. So hopefully this second take, I've got it in line and you'll be able to see everything. Okay, we also have for the inside a 4 by 5 1/4 piece that we'll be using. For the Wise Man, we have a 3 by 3. For the Wise Man Still Seeks Him, which is this greeting here, we've got the background of our card, and that one is at 4 and 5 1/4 also. Then we've got two of these silver glimmer papers. One of them is cut at 1 and 5 1/4, and one of them is cut at 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up our Stamparatus to and I'll go ahead and put my sleeves on now so that I won't forget them when I start stamping. Let me get them situated here. And they are really comfortable. I didn't know if I'd like having elastic around my wrist and arms and stuff, but I found that the lady that made these really put some thought into it and made it really comfortable. So, okay, let's go ahead and set up our Stamparatus and get the show on the road, as they say. Okay. So, of you that may not have bought their Stamparatus yet, let me tell you, it's the best investment I think I've ever made in a stamping tool. My cards have improved greatly as far as their alignment goes, and even the creativity of it, because it just kind of helps me see what it's going to be like before I do it. And what I'm going to do today is try something a little different, where that I can hopefully do all my stamping at one time. I'm going to layer some of this because there's certain areas that will be needing the Versamark and the stamping on, and then some areas that we don't. So by layering them a little bit, and I did just put me some of that removable tape there to help hold this down, because I won't be using the magnet with this small piece here. And then for the inside, let's go ahead and bring it on over and see if we can't, because we're not going to, again, let me try and move this one over a little bit. Okay, and then we'll move this one. I think we can probably do it about there and get everything in we need. And we will go ahead and put one of the magnets here, and then one of them, whoops, no, we won't put it that close. Let's go ahead and put the other magnet up here. Okay, and so let's get our stamps out and line them up. And I did go ahead, we are doing the star as well in that, but I went ahead and took a scrap piece of silver, embossed it, and fuzzy cut it out so that we'd save a little bit of time on that. Okay, so we want our angel, and here we'll just move that because I think that's going to be in the way. We want our angel as far up as we can get her and in the center of the card. And then we want the gift of faith, the blessing of hope, the peace of his love to come right up underneath that. And then we're going to take our wise men and we're going to put them between each edge here and a little bit above. So we can get some of our sponging on. That looks good. And then we're going to do the wise men still seek him. And that one will be going on the bottom of the blue. So I think we've got it right about right. Okay. So let's go ahead and press this down and lift it. Whoops. Better press that down a little bit harder before I lift it up and make sure it's stuck good. Let's bring it over here. Okay, let's go ahead and do that and bring our Versamark in, and let's use this one here. Probably has a little bit more gooiness to it than my other one does. Okay, and let's go ahead and bring this on over and press down again, giving that 10-second rule to let all of your ink, whether it's Versamark or colored ink, to transfer on over into our paper. Okay, so let's move this off, and I'm going to go ahead and take this. I better stand back down. I just stuck my finger right in the middle of the Versamark. Let's bring it over here. All right, let's do this again. And let's get our scrap paper over for the silver embossing here. Okay. That looks good. Maybe use my brush here. There's a little bit of extra there that we need to make sure gets off. Okay, that looks great. Okay, let's bring our next piece over. That's our little wise men here. This new Illuminated Christmas is one of my favorites in this new stamp set, our new catalog that we've gotten. And it looks like I may have, when that fell, got a little bit of a shadow effect from some residue of the Versamark on a previous card that I did. So let's make sure we are able to get as much of that off as we can. Okay, that one looks good. Maybe a little bit more right here. Okay, that'll be good. And then let's go ahead and bring in the bottom. Now, while I'm heat embossing this, I'm going to go ahead and go into a silent mode because I'm going to speed it up. Because I figure you don't need to wait through all of the heating. Okay, so let's set this aside. And get our heat gun out here. And let's watch the magic happen. All right, I think that looks good. So let's go ahead and assemble part of our card that we won't be needing, and then we'll sponge the other part. So let's move some of this out of our way. Okay, got that wiped off. So let's go ahead and apply it to the front by adhering it. We'll go ahead and use snail glue. Of course, you can use whatever adhesive you prefer. Our Tombow liquid is wonderful as well. Okay. Have that. And then what we're going to do is put down our 1 inch by 5 1/4 inch silver glimmer paper. We're going to go and ahead and give it probably about a little 1/4 inch border on the side here. That's good. Okay. And then we're going to frame out our greeting here with the other 3/4 inch by 3 3/4 inch piece of silver glimmer paper. Okay, I think that looks good there. Bring it on over, and let's set this aside while we go ahead and do our sponging. Now, I had mentioned earlier, if I didn't mention it earlier, but I started using this glass mat when I'm doing my cards for a couple of reasons. One is I like the smoothness of it. I also like the fact that I can sponge off of this without getting the lines like I used to. I find that going from paper to the paper, I was getting lines in my sponging and stuff. So anyway, let me show you what I've been doing lately that seems to be making it much smoother. And probably some of y'all already knew this, but I just came across of it. So let's go ahead. And as they say in your sponging, always go light, and then you can add more color. So that's what we're going to be doing here is I go off the glass mat and then bring the color on over the sponge and do a light edging on it. And then we'll build our color after that. But I just kind of want to get a framed color around it. For some reason, ever since we've had these rains going on and off, I don't know if I've picked up some allergy of some sort, maybe molds or whatever, but I have just been sniffling, so excuse me, I'm trying not to, but if I sniffle in your ear today, that's why. See how smooth that color's coming in and how pretty that is. And what the effect I'm trying to get is kind of a darker outside and then the light glowing around the wise men as we set the star up above the card. I'm hoping it shows more or less a illumination of the lighting that would be shining on the wise men as they were seeking to see baby Jesus being born. As we're sponging, I wanted to let you know that at the bottom of my film, you'll see my link to my blog. And if you don't already have a demonstrator and you would like to have one, I'd love to be your demonstrator, and I'll be glad to get any of the catalogs out to you. And there's a link on my blog to my 24-hour, 7 days a week shopping area. Let's go a little bit darker up in this area here. And then I think this one will be good, and we're going on to the inside of it. But as I was saying, if you're seeking a a new demonstrator or one that is no longer, that you don't have one, not a new one, but are seeking a demonstrator, I'll be glad to. But if you already have a demonstrator, then be sure and use their link and shop for the supplies you need for making your cards. Okay, we're just going to bring in here just around the edges mainly. We're not trying to cover too much of the space because there'll be writing that you'll want to do, I'm sure, when you send off your card. But as you can see, this is a fairly simple card. It's just using your embossing technique and your sponging technique, and you've got a beautiful card that anyone would love to receive. And Christmas is right around the corner, so it's a good time to start stocking up on your supplies and getting your cards started. I'll be attending our on stage in Florida in November, and I'm getting real excited about it and need to get busy designing my swap for there. So we'll see what we come up with for it. Okay, I like that. I think we'll just stop there. Okay, let's go ahead and put our ink away and clean off our work surface here so that we don't transfer any of the ink that I was sponging onto our card as we're assembling it. Okay, I think that looks good. And I'm going to go ahead, and now that my sponging and everything's done, wipe my fingers off for sure, and go ahead and remove these. All right, let's go ahead and assemble our card now. Let's go to the inside, and we'll place in the inside greeting. And we'll have this little puppy just about done here. I was mentioning to you that my husband helped me when I got this whim that I wanted to redesign my studio. And he helped me, and as well as my nephew Bill, putting together some of the pieces that I got at IKEA. And then my husband helped assemble everything else in the room as I would change my mind on him, which was kind of funny. I don't have them handy here, but if I did, I would probably use my glue dot over here to just better adhere this glitter paper on glitter paper, okay? And then our two pieces here are the last that we need to put on. But anyway, I'm going to be doing a filming of it probably this next week once I kind of clean up for my Friday's class and Friday night's class, and show y'all what all I've done and what some neat items that I added to help me with photo taking, as well as the filming that we're doing today. Okay, let's go ahead and add the star, and we have a completed card. Let's go ahead and get that edge of that glue off there. Okay, I think that's a good spot for it right here. All right, so here's our card. Here's the first one that I brought in, and this is the second one. And I think it turned out really, really pretty. So anyway, I want to thank you for stopping by. And if you like this film and you would like to subscribe to me, please click the subscribe button below. And if you liked it, hit the like button as well. And then link over to down below where I have it, my blog's address. Go ahead and link over there, and you can use my 24-hour, 7-day-a-week store if you need to buy any supplies or purchase any supplies. Plus, I do have cards over there that I may not have filmed the technique on that you might want to take a look at as well. So until next time, thank you and God bless.